So the fallout between Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene has been nothing short of spectacular, especially after this 60 minutes interview in which, she essentially said that she was calling out Trump for obfuscating the release of the Epstein files, among other things. And, I'm going to be analyzing her body language and her statements in here, in the body language guy. But I also most likely will make an analysis of the political topics behind this on my political analysis channel, the Power Pundit. Make sure to subscribe. There's a link in the description of this video. But let's start with this. This is after Trump has already called her Marjorie Taylor Brown, as in green turns brown under stress. She went bad as she was jilted by the President of the United States. She sort of reminds me of a rotten apple. Marjorie is not America First or MAGA, because nobody could have changed her views so fast, and her new views are those of a very dumb person, shared Donald Trump on his Truth Social. She was interviewed a very poorly prepared traitor who in her confusion made many really stupid statements. He was also calling out, of course, the people at 60 Minutes. But the most important thing is what was going on with her in this interview. And let's go clip by clip so we can understand why she was talking about.
It wasn't a decision that I came to lightly, but it was a very important decision for myself.
She was talking about stepping back like 1 year in advance from her seat as representative. She claims that she's not looking for anything else.
And also for my family.
It was sudden.
It was sudden, but a lot of things changed. I stood for women who were raped when they were 14 years old, and the president that I fought for 5 years called me a traitor for that.
I think that was disingenuous of her, because there's a lot of ways that Donald Trump actually helped the investigation. And I think that Donald Trump was pissed. Many people are saying this because, basically Marjorie was standing right there with Thomas Massie, with the victims, granted, but the kind of signs who were in the background of that protest, which at the same time, I don't agree that Marjorie Taylor Greene could have controlled that. Maybe Donald Trump didn't like that. And he didn't like that she was one of the 4 Republicans that signed that, let's be transparent about the Epstein Files Act, which he ultimately signed, but he was not pleased. But the fact that she says that the president called her a traitor for wanting to release or wanting to defend the victims, I remember, and I analyzed that video here on the Body Language Guy channel, in which there was one attorney, the attorney of the victims, in fact, spoke at this exact same event, and he said Donald Trump helped him in the past with everything that he needed to, sort things out, to find the people who had done this. So it's a bit of, I think it was disingenuous in her part, and an oversimplification and saying that why was he calling her a traitor? It's more like that she kind of broke the ranks. And you might be saying that, does Trump want absolute loyalty with absolute no? Yeah, pretty much Trump is like that. He wants absolute loyalty. I would say that I think that everybody wants that, in fact. But let's continue.
So I'm going to ask you straight out. Mm-hmm. Did you surrender? Did Donald Trump run you out of town?
No, not at all. Actually, Leslie, it's more like this, I said in my statement, I will be no one's battered wife, and I meant it. And I won't allow the system to abuse me anymore.
Notice that she uses words of victimization. I will be no one's battered wife. I don't think that she has, at any point in her political career and public life, been seen as a better wife. And right now she uses those words to elicit those images in people's minds. Like I will not be a victim, but you're saying the word victim. Basically, you're saying that like she's kind of the victim now. Remember that we have trouble processing negatives. But the upcoming clip is one of my favorites.
You really feel abused. You know, he did come after you pretty hard. He called you a lunatic, I'm quoting. He said all she does is complain, complain, complain in caps, and then he called you a traitor. So he hit you, whacked you.
Yes, he did this in the same time span where President Trump brought in the al-Qaeda leader that was wanted by the U.S. government, who is now the president of Syria. Then within a week, he brought in the Crown Prince, MBS, who murdered an American journalist. And then he brought in the newly elected Democrat Socialist mayor of New York. That was the time span that he called me a traitor.
Okay, she's using this kind of equivalence of diplomacy, actually. I mean, you could disagree with the means, but this is something that you have to do. I mean, this is something that I want to discuss on my political channel. That's why I told you to subscribe to me there. I'm going to make a video about that because so many people are saying that, oh, yeah, I want to be America first, but as anybody, is like you could be your home first. Like your home could come first, but you have neighbors, and your neighbors are also important, and you want your neighbors to, well, be aligned with what you do. And let's say that America is not alone, and the planet is not alone. The hemisphere needs allies everywhere. I'm going to elaborate about that on my political channel. So this is a false equivalence. Oh, he's calling me a traitor, and he is meeting with all these people. Yeah, but he's meeting with all those people because, well, for example, Zohran Mamdani, you have to find a way to work with them in one way or another. In case of Mamdani, was more trolling him, perhaps.
You decided not to stay and fight. You decided to give in.
After President Trump called me a traitor, I got a pipe bomb threat on my house, and then I got several direct death threats on my son.
I noticed that there was a lot of editing in this interview. Maybe she was saying a couple more words or something, but I always grow suspicious of this kind of super cuts, super editing, a lot of jumps here and there, but I understand that they wanted to keep it short.
On your son.
On my son.
You say the president put your life in danger. You blame him. You say he fueled a hotbed of threats against me, and that you blame him for the threats against your son.
The subject line for the direct death threats on my son was his words, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Those are death threats directly fueled by President Trump. I told him, I told J.D. Vance, I told them all, sent those directly to them.
Notice this part that she was going to address J.D. Vance's answer and Donald Trump's answer.
Response?
J.D. Vance replied back to me, we'll look into it. I got response back from President Trump that I will keep private, but it wasn't very nice.
It's interesting that she said what J.D. Vance said, but she did not disclose what Trump said. It wasn't very nice. She's purposely vague about that. It simply was not very nice. What is nice to her in this setting? What was the expected answer? What was the disappointing answer that she got? We have no idea. See, she's being vague on purpose on this topic.
Give us a hint of what the president said.
Good question. Give us a hint, just a hint.
It was extremely unkind.
That is not a hint. You're still being vague. But there's another clip that I want you to watch.
We did talk about the Epstein files, and he was extremely angry at me that I had signed the discharge petition to release the files. I fully believe that those women deserve everything they're asking. They're asking for all of it to come out. They deserve it. And he was furious with me.
What did he say?
He said that it was going to hurt people.
Notice this as well is another vague statement. He said it was going to hurt people. but we don't know which people is going to be hurt, because there's a lot of people in there. In those files, there are, of course, the perpetrators, there are the victims, there are the enablers, there are the people who were investigating the whole thing. There's everyone in there. Okay, that is important to remember. Okay, I've always wanted the whole thing to be released, but people have told me, okay, but the issue is that there people are gonna be guilty by association, that maybe they had nothing to do with that. And yes, I can understand that can be a liability, but most people are saying that so be it, release the whole thing, and then you, well, just find out what happened, who was where with whom.
I had asked him, these women are the ones that were hurt. They were raped at 14, they were raped at 16. I watched them stand in front of the press trembling, their bodies shaking as they were telling their stories, many of them for the first time. And I had told him, I said, you know, you have all kinds of people come in the White House. Have these women come in the White House.
Again, there's their own attorney, the victim's attorney, was really like open about this very publicly about how much Trump had helped about this. So I don't know why MTG is doing this.
These women deserve to be heard.
He said to you, people will get hurt.
No, watch this.
People will get hurt. I don't know what that means. I don't know who they are.
People will get hurt. I don't know what it means. I don't know who they are. She didn't bother. She didn't bother to ask the question. She had the conversation with Donald Trump. I don't know, maybe by phone. And Donald Trump said people will get hurt. And she didn't know what it meant. And being her like she is, so explosive and direct, she couldn't ask, what people are we talking about? And Trump could have answered, well, maybe the people who could be just guilty by association, who was at the wrong place at the wrong time. That is a possibility. There's a lot of people in there. Again, that's one of the possibilities, and the question was not asked. Don't you find it odd?
You went after his, I think you said, trying to entangle us in foreign wars. You said Air Force One should be parked, no more foreign trips.
For an America First president, the number one focus should have been domestic policy, and it wasn't. And so, of course, I was critical, because those were my campaign promises. Once we fix everything here, then fine, we'll talk to the rest of the world.
Okay, I think that is asinine, the saying that it's park Air Force One, no more flights, no more trips anywhere. She's against diplomacy, it seems, receiving. I mean, maybe you don't like the people that you have to receive, but you have to deal with those people, because those people, you have to negotiate with them. You have to, do transactions with them. That is what is governing a country, especially the United States. Again, I think that she is really disingenuous in here, and that's I think that is more like commenting in the politics side. Maybe we can watch one last clip in here.
He passed a crypto bill that helped out all the crypto donors. He has served Israel's interest, even attacking Iran. He has served Big Pharma. He didn't take away the COVID vaccines that we want to see taken away. So those are the areas that are still getting everything they want, while the people, we're still out here saying we want to see action on areas for the American people, not for the major industries and the big donors.
Okay, there are a couple of things in here. For example, the crypto stuff. She says that she passed a crypto bill that helped all the crypto donors. Okay, how many of those crypto donors were there? It's that many of them, and what those do those bills affect negatively the American people? I don't know. He has served Israel's interest, even attacking Iran. again, I don't know. I don't know if Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't know what an ally is. And I also want to talk about that on my politics channel. Especially an ally in the Middle East, an actual democracy in the Middle East. I don't know, but maybe the concept is a bit, I don't know, thick for her. I don't know, it has to be explained. And in the sense of sort of big pharma, I think that MAHA, or Make America Healthy Again, they have tried to make sure that people have the option to choose. That is, to have informed consent about what they can get into their bodies. And because it's not like you're going to ban if people do the vaccine, but you want to give people the option to opt in into the vaccines or not, opt in into the vaccine schedule or not, opt in into this for example, the measles vaccine. Then was one of the discussions. At which age? That is the thing that is, I think this is the main point of this. Having the ability to choose, because it's kind of a big pharma. Big pharma has already found their new toy, which is Ozempic, and we know that so many people are on Ozempic, and we have this bill about Ozempic. There are a lot of can be told about this. I mean, I think that she was quite disingenuous in this interview, especially making all these topics like way too simple for what they are. These are complex topics. These are systemic topics. It's not something that you can say, oh, I am America first, and I don't care about anything in the world. I'm just my house first. I don't care what's going on in my neighborhood. We know that that's not how it works. That it never works that way. Not in our houses, with our neighbors, with our neighborhood, with our city, and certainly not with the country. But again, she claims that she is not for anything beyond this. She's not running for president, which I have to say it would be laughable. She's not running for senator or anything, or governor or whatever. But let's say, what is her next move? Because there's always a next move. In fact, she says something at the end of this interview regarding this. Just let's play this clip.
A lot of people think you're doing it and that you, in a year or so, are going to run for some other office.
I have zero plans, zero desire to run for president. I would hate the Senate. I'm not running for governor. But Leslie, it doesn't matter how many times I say it. I'll have face-to-face conversations with people, and I'll flat out tell them to their face, and they won't believe me. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. And they wink at me, and I'm like, okay. It's just like, I don't know how to make it more clear.
Well, it would help. Like, what is the intention behind these interviews? If you could have said everything and just send a tweet or something, you can write longer tweets now. It's no longer 140 characters anymore. But again, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. Remember, in my political analysis channel, I will be elaborating on these same topics. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss.